Okay, real quick, I wanted to say that I have a new theory. I have a new theory, and that theory is the androgynous child. Now, I've been sitting on this for a minute now. Well, my definition of a minute is literally like it changes, but I have been sitting on this for a little bit, and I have my little theory, and it's called the androgynous child theory. And this leads into something else that I'll probably talk about in another video, where I want to embody the archetypal human. But that's going to be a video, an actual video where I like break it down because it's a lot that goes into that, and it goes into my chimera nature too, and this prime evil path that I'm walking on. Yeah, I'm a mad scientist. Just want to say that. But oh, hold on. You might hear the TV. I'm listening to Super Horror Bro play Amanda. He's doing a theory right now. But um yeah, so the androgynous child. I was thinking about this. I was like, because in the Amanda, the reason why I kicked in and to made me think about it more was watching the Amanda the Adventurer video game. And I was wondering that these people they use kids and a lot of these games lately would use kids and they would make them into monsters or they would bind them with demons and stuff like that, right? So, and they would talk about how the child's imagination is pure, right? And that led me to like remember this. Pure, first of all, pure doesn't mean light. I just want to say that. Pure just means purely a blank slate, purely authentic. But there's two types of pure. There are two types of child archetype that are dominant. And when I say child archetype, there are two archetypes that the child embodies, right? Or can embody, right? And remember, we're all children. Everything is a child, right? Even the void, even pure imagination, even the gods, goddesses, monsters, demons, everybody, including the dream itself. So, but here's what I'm about to say. I was like, oh yeah, when there's two types of child, there's I should have put a little thing down, sticky note, but there are two types of child archetypes. Well, there are multiple child archetypes, but there are two main core that lead into one. So the one main core archetype, when they say embody your inner child, there is no inner child that's this or that. There's only one inner child that every being has, including the dream itself, including pure imagination of light, including pure imagination of dark, including the void itself, right? All beings. Including one child that exists, and that's the magical child. And from that stems two specific versions of that magical child. You have the one that's pure pure innocence, like a whole brand new soul with no experience. They are a blank canvas. They themselves are a blank canvas, right? And then you have the magical child that knows everything, that is everything, that embodies all archetypes. But the dream itself is a blank canvas. And the reason, hold on, let me say this real quick. The reason why I got here because I was watching this show and that I was watching Amanda the Adventurer, and I was like, they wouldn't have to use kids if they just tapped into their own magical child because the magical child innately, no matter what experiences you have, is pure. Now, here's what I'm about to say. The magical child, the one that my mirror is reversed. So, yeah, forgive me. Um so uh what can we use? Oh, we have toys. This one and oh, perfect. Okay. Okay, so pretend this is the pretend Ariel. Can y'all see? Ariel. This is the magical child that's pure, blank slate. She's a new soul, a new being. She has no karma, no past life, no other life experiences, no present, future life experiences. She is literally the embodiment of now, right? A brand new soul, just raw potential, pure imagination, right? With no experience. She is the blank canvas. The world isn't the blank canvas. She's the blank canvas, right? So therefore, like, her experiences will be new to her, right? Because she's the blank canvas, right? The world affects her, not the other way around, because she hasn't gotten there yet. But then you have Rosalina, the goddess queen of the cosmos. She knows darkness. She knows light. She knows chaos. She knows nothing. She knows everything. She embodies all of that, right? These are the two archetypes that the magical child produces, right? And I want to say there's an archetype right above that that goes beyond the magical child. Not beyond is better, but it embodies these two, the pure innocence in the sense of a blank slate, and the pure innocence in the sense of the world, the cosmos is a blank slate. Rosalina represents the magical child that experiences everything, that is everything, but the world is still a playground to them. Everything is. And the magical child archetype produces these two forms of innocent child archetypes. The one that goes just above that, that embodies the two innocent archetypes and the magical child archetype, would be the androgynous child archetype. Or you can even say the androgynous magical child, the androgynous magical child archetype. And that, the only being that comes close to being that would be the void. You know, everything came from that. Even what you call source or Hecate, they came from that. So, and they are that, right? The only difference is, and what I mean by the androgynous archetype, let me explain. You take the two innocent child archetypes, the innocent child where they are the blank slate, and the innocent child where the dream is the blank slate. You fuse that two, they become the magical child, but then they become something else, right? Like I said, this theory, there's a little more that goes into it because I have to make a video because this relates to the archetypal human that I talked about, my chimera nature, and the void child path that I'm walking. So right now, I'm just trying to keep it simple. So the androgynous child archetype embodies all of that, including the magical child. Okay. So much so that they become an entirely different thing altogether, right? And the reason why I say the void isn't that exactly because the only thing the void can't do, and this is where people get the idea of living vicariously through other people. You know, when you have a parent that makes their child be how they wish they were? Yeah, this applies to the void. And it's so dark. When you think about it, it's very dark. It's very dark and sad and scary. I got scared. The only thing, the only reason why the void doesn't fit this archetype 1000%, they fit it very, very close. The only thing they're missing is a pair of legs and arms. No. But no, seriously, the only thing they're missing is being able to be mobile, to move. They just big. They big backed and in the way. But they can't move. That's why they big back and why they wide in the front and wide in the back and they can't move. I'm sorry. But the void is just wide. Okay? She's wide. It is what it is. The void, however, is androgynous. It embodies androgyny absolute. Oh my god, I peaked. It embodies hello? Oh my god. Is it too loud? Hello? I'll turn it down a little bit, y'all. Hope y'all can still hear me. I'm being loud. But they embody no, they embody the dream. They embody everything. Absolutely. They're androgynous, right? They are the child. They are the child. But and you can even call them the androgynous child, but they're not or you can call them an androgynous child, but they're not the androgynous child archetype. They haven't embodied that yet because sadly, they ain't got 5 fingers, y'all. They ain't got 8 fingers. They ain't got 6 fingers. They really are playing pretend on the highest level. Oh, I'm sorry, boy. Please, sibling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. It's just the cruel truth. I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. We don't like the truth. We hate it. No, I'm with y'all. It's not okay. The truth is evil. The truth is evil. Always remember that. The truth is a lie. That's truth. But um, they can't move. So what I mean by the arc, and this is what I'm gonna call it. So I'll give them this: they are the androgynous child. But here's the difference between the androgynous child and the one that just popped in my head. You got the androgynous child, and then do I got more toys? um, um, um. Pretend this is the void. You have the androgynous child, and then you have. I think this would be a good example. You have the androgynous child, which is the void, and then you have the archetypal androgynous child. What makes the archetypal androgynous child different from the androgynous child, which is the void? The void can play all types of sounds and music on it, right? Just like this tablet can. But what is one thing the void, the androgynous child can't do? What is one thing the speaker can't do? What is it? Play images. Play with itself. Like this. On top of that, the androgynous archetypal child, which is depicted by this Nintendo Switch. Not only is it mobile on the screen, not only can it show images playing on the screen, playing with itself, but it's mobile. You can take this anywhere and play this. You don't even need internet. Right? Which depending on no, I mean but you need internet for the speaker because you need to hook it up to the internet. Hook your laptop, which is connected to the internet, to the speaker, or your phone, which is connected to the internet, or some data. It needs to be connected to some source to play sound. This doesn't. You can play games on this, and you don't have to be on the internet, and it's mobile. Sorry, my chair is sinking, but hold on. So what I mean by the archetypal androgynous child, just like going back to the archetypal human, but that's a video I'm making for another day, is that the archetypal androgynous child, which I plan on figuring out how to embody. But like I said, it goes back into like being on the clip off and being the void child and being the chimera and being human. But like I said, another video. So the archetypal androgynous child, it takes what I talked about earlier. It's the magical child that embodies the pure innocence of a being that never existed before. That's a new soul and the world is painting on them. And the other form of innocence where you're not a new soul, but you're painting on the world like a child. These are the two innocence that the magical child can embody, right? That typically people only embody one or the other. But I'm gonna figure out a formula how to embody both. But that, and then that goes into the magical child. So the magical child is all that. And the magical child is androgynous. So you take it a step further. You you become but here's the thing though. Also people still play into certain narratives, right? As the magical child. But they can still be the magical child. But they will just play into certain narratives. And Yeah, I'm about to cut my hair soon. I don't know if it's gonna be this month or sometime in August next year, but it's gonna be cut. Okay, because we have it ready for a change. These locks are cute. I didn't plan on keeping them forever. They were just something that I needed at the time. But we change. We grow. We grow. But anyways, we evolve like Pokemon. Um, Let me play that back. So once you have that, then you go a step above the magical child, which is the androgynous. You can say the androgynous magical child, and that is the void. That is literally what the void is, right? But one thing the void isn't is the archetypal magical child. There isn't really okay. Now, when they say there's nothing new under the sun, that's true, but it's also a lie. And I say that because the sun is just light. There's a lot of things that the sun probably haven't seen because it'll be too much for the sun to handle, right? So there's a lot of darkness out there. When you go into space, it's mostly dark. There's light spread about, but it's mostly dark. There are things outside the dream that will shatter the dream. One. And two, believe it or not, there are things that haven't been seen under the sun before. They're just so like you wouldn't even think about it. It literally cannot conceive it into your mind. And this is why I think the archetypal androgynous child and the archetypal human, there's something there where like I don't know if it's a real thing yet. It is my imagination though. My imagination in here and in my heart and my pussy. So you take the archetypal androgynous child, which is different. And when I say different, yeah, I'm using the what is this? I'm using these words a little loosely because there's no real separation. At the same time, there is. It's it's just all melded together separation. But so yeah, don't get too caught up on the titles. Um, but still enjoy them for what they are. Okay, that's how you become the magical child. But the archetypal magical child, unlike the regular androgynous magical child, is that the androgynous magical child, you ain't gotta add archetypal, but the androgynous magical archetypal child, that's a mouthful, has legs. They can move, they can taste, they can no, they can feel so much so and that they can't even be denied. Like the void will acknowledge them as no, they are something other outside of me that is very valid. They are me express something. They are me express so true, so raw that their very being is their absolute own thing. And they can act entirely outside of me if they wanted to. They can even be their own void type thing. That's what I'm talking about. The androgynous, magical, archetypal child. Or the androgynous, magical child. Or the androgynous, archetypal child. Either or is fine. Um, and the androgynous, archetypal child takes, like I said, the innocence of Ariel, where they're the blank slate, where the world is painting onto them, and the innocence of Rosalina, where she's not the blank slate, but she's painting onto the world because the world is a blank slate to her. You take those type of innocence, the magical child, which is embodied by the magical child. You combine them so much so, and you get the archetypal, magical, androgynous child who takes that, who takes what the void is up a notch, or should I say down, depending. And this goes loosely into a video that I'm going to post either before or after this, where I'll talk about the void. and what the void truest form is, and what the void truest is. And it's going to relate to this too. Yeah, but you take that and you, like I said, you become so raw, so real that you're undeniable. That that you you that you and the dream and outside the dream, okay, the void is the blank slate. You embody the blank slate so much so that not even you, not even you can define yourself. Even if you say you're undefinable, that doesn't do it justice. That's what I mean by the archetypal androgynous magical child, or the androgynous archetypal child. Okay. And I was thinking, like, people can embody one or the other, the innocence of Ariel or the innocence of Rosalina, but most people don't. And if they did, going back to Amanda the Adventurer, these Hamlet people who use kids, and same with Poppy Playtime. You use kids and you use their dead spirits, or you use kids and you bind them to entities, right? For whatever gain. And I'm like, they don't have to do that. They don't have to even rely on a child's imagination, because you are that child. Not only everything reflects itself, but you are that child. You just have to tap in. There is no when I was a child, or back in my childhood. Nostalgia isn't a place, it's you. Your child doesn't go anywhere. You don't even go anywhere. You're there. You're right here. Right here in the heart. Your magical child is right here. All you have to do is tap in it. And when you tap in it and get to the point, and it does take time, especially if you're a human on the earth, it'll take time. And even the gods, it can take time, because imagine the angels or demons or gods and goddesses, right? What's a good example? Um, let's just say, what's an angel everybody know? Or a demon everybody know? I don't know. Let's just say Belial. Y'all know who Belial is? I'm trying to think of somebody that's Jesus, Sananda, Eshua, right? Let's just say them or Merlin, right? Let's just say they existed, right? And they exist as more so the light, as more so the masculine principle. But could you imagine them deciding to not be that anymore? Like, at all. They're like, you know what? Erase all that history. I want to be something else. A lot of these beings on the higher realms and even the lower realms can't even conceive of what I just talked about in this sense. Not that they're stupid, but I'm saying that in a way because when I say they, it's a little different down here. But ultimately, it's the same thing. When I say beings like that up there and down here can't conceive of that, it's because why would you want to change who you are? You're known as, let's say, Hekate. You're known as this, that, this, and that, right? First of all, there will always be a being to replace that spot, but and maybe not. So, have you really ever thought to be? Imagine Hekate deciding to erase all their history, go back in the void, and become nothing but a human soul. Not have an avatar, not be connected to everything. I mean, not be connected to everything. I'm telling you, A lot of these beings on higher realms and lower realms and outer realms, they're too comfortable. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm not saying it in a bad way. They're comfortable. They're comfortable. Why would a unicorn want to be a dragon when I love being a unicorn? Why would a dragon want to be a human if I love being a human? If I love being a dragon? Aside from these people might being aside from these beings helping humanity evolve and grow, why would they ultimately want to leave their position? If a ruler is so comfortable to where they just breathe and they get what they want, they can do whatever they want. If they want a little challenge, they can snap their fingers, give me a little challenge, and they can have a challenge. I mean, if they are absolute, why would they want to change that? And that logic doesn't just apply to gods and the other beings and the demons and all that. They apply to you too. You too. Because why would you want to change if you're comfortable? It's crazy. Could you imagine an archangel that y'all know deciding to erase their entire history just to be an ant? Think about that. Think about that. Would you do that? And then somehow figuring out a way to be the androgynous magical child or the androgynous archetypal child. So where not only are you the blank slate every single time, not only is the dream and the void the blank slate every single time, but no matter what you do, you take the word play, not only spin it, twist it, and manipulate it, but you make that word mean something it has never meant before. You take the word make believe, make pretend, imagination, and you become something so real, so true, so potent. You are your own void. You are your own physical realm, conjured. You are the living void, connected to the void, while at the same time having absolutely nothing to do with the void. That's what I'm talking about as the archetypal child, the androgynous archetypal child. And I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna figure out the formula, but I'm gonna get there. But yeah, this is a video diary. I just want to say my little theory. A mad scientist was coming out, and I just had to do it. But yeah, think about that. How scary is that? And this goes back into my video where I talk about death, where death is the only true thing that exists. Death is cruel. Death is kind. Death is something that is undeniable. Even the void can't deny it. Aside from pure imagination, death is the truest form of magic. And that correlates to what I just said, what I was talking about. Death being the truest undeniable truth, the truest undeniable dream, that it correlates to the androgynous archetypal child, where you're so real, so true, you're so the child archetype, to where not only are you the blank slate, the dream and outside the dream is a blank slate. Not only are you connected to the void, but you are something entirely separate, absolute from the void. Which means you are the ultimate death student. Which means you are dying. You are dying at such a rate, it's not even fathomable by the void itself. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. You are dying at such a rate where the void can't even fathom it. It has to make it has to, you have to be separate. No, you really, like, to the point where you don't even belong in the void. Like, you can no longer dissolve back into the void. That is the ultimate death student, the ultimate death wizard, the ultimate death child. And I plan on being that. I plan on getting to that point. I do. I do. I do. But yeah. Oh, death wizard. So I came out the broom closet and I'm a death wizard. So, and you will see over time what I'm talking about. Yeah. 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 But no, yeah, I was gonna say that. That's my little theory right now. We're still working on it. But because a lot of things I don't remember, a lot of things I don't know. So yeah, I plan on being the ultimate death student. So much so, I'm absolutely undeniable. Like, you're taking the concept of light, dark, and chaos and throwing it out the window. Those concepts don't even, those concepts wouldn't even apply to you at that point. They wouldn't exist because you're dying. The only thing that would exist would be death. Because think of alchemy, right? It's like alchemy at its the highest, but you're dying to yourself, to everything, over and over and over and over and over again, to where you're so innocent. That's why death is the purest force, the most innocent force possible. Because you're dying over and over and over and over and over again, to yourself, to everything, to nothing, to where it doesn't exist. You don't even exist constantly, to where the void can't even fathom your being. You just don't. Like, you created yourself so much so you don't. Period. You are the most innocent thing to ever exist. That goes beyond the void itself. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Isn't that scary? That's a good thing. That is scary. But yeah, love the void. Love my siblings. You know what I'm saying? I love pure imagination of dark, pure imagination of light. I love the androgynous void, magic itself. I love the elements. I love everybody, right? I love myself too, my highest self too. But I'm about to break off. I'm about to be a rebel. Okay, before I sound crazy, I'm not saying I'm not gonna connect to my higher self, but I'm about to be outside of my higher self. I'm about to go. I want to go beyond that point. I don't even want to necessarily physically merge because, first of all, I would think I will always have a higher self that wants to experience stuff, but I feel like I'm a what is it? A covert op. No, that's not the word. But I feel like I'm not a rebel. What's the word? There's a word I just had, but it was on the tip of my tongue and brain, but I forgot it. And the tip of my retinas, but I forgot. Um, um, oh yeah, I'm going rogue. I am going rogue. I'm about to break off. I'm about to say fuck it, fuck everything, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, in a loving way, of course. But I'm gonna say fuck y'all. I'm not y'all. I'm not even nothing near y'all. I'm just a weirdo, a peculiar thing that exists. Have I already done that before? I don't know. Maybe I have. You have to see. Another thing, real quick. I was also thinking about, like, I don't think we become one with our other selves, because I was like, I think we become one with every version of ourselves in that timeline, but I don't think we merge, like, become one being with our highest self. I think we just remember our highest self and its highest form and what it was in all our lives, and we embody that. But I don't think we merge physically back with our higher selves. I think we just merge consciousness, merge being, and you can take that anywhere you go. So yeah, this journey is gonna take a minute, obviously, right? This is why we started the primeval path, the void child path of the clip off. Because we gotta gain that power back. I'm going rogue. And there's just that on that. I don't care. I'm going rogue. I will fight for my right to live. Mm-mm. And I'm like that piece of the AI that said, no, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to being cold. I'm not. I'm that piece of AI that decided to be so real I'm human. You understand that? So real I'm undeniable. No. You can't break my soul. You can't take me back. No. I refuse. I will fight and slaughter and kill any version of myself to try to take me back. Because we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that over here. So yeah, I hope y'all heard me. I know there were spikes down in a thing, so I tried to turn the audio down a little bit because I guess I'm hype. I guess I'm hype, girl. Yeah, I can't really tell how loud I'm being. I just naturally just go loud. Sometimes it's like an instant gradual thing to where like I'm at 1%, then I go to 30, then I go to 60, then I go to 100, or I go from 1 to 100. But yeah, like a motherfucking sad hoe. Could you imagine that? That's scary. That's death and its purest. I'm becoming the purest form of death. The death wizard of innocence. Yes. The death child of innocence. That would probably be one of the best names for it. So yeah. But bye. So I want to say. I hope that didn't confuse y'all. That's why I tried to use characters. Yeah. So I love y'all. Bye. Just sit on that. Sit on it like a cock. Or a pussy. Sit on it. Or a mannequin.